Hey guys, welcome to the next episode recap review with Reality Unloaded podcast. We're covering the Challenge All Stars 5 Rivals, episode 7 Old Friends and New Rivals. And it's your girl Keeks.
I'm Brandon.
And I'm Jenna, back again.
Jenna's back again. Okay, we still didn't scare her off,
Woo.
thankfully. Um, and this episode was great. I'm sure many of us hold the same opinion. So that's a good thing. Hey, Sophie Dophie, thank you so much for tuning in. Whoever else is tuning in out there, please make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that follow button on Instagram and TikTok. TikTok. I'm always saying it like some old lady. Like, am I not like a zillennial? Like, why am I saying it like that? Anyway. TikTok and Instagram, Reality Unloaded Podcast. And yes, Crystal, loving this turnaround. So are we. I'm so happy that the House is not voting Adam and Steve for the umpteenth time. And we're getting some major moves. And honestly, I was surprised with how this episode played out. Like, very shocked.
I wish people had more of a voice, but yeah.
Starting early, calling people out.
Right. Brandon. No, but I agree. Some people definitely buckled down, and I was surprised by that. I was like, you of all people?
Right. What was the point? What was the point of most of the episode if she wasn't going to do what she was going to do? But okay.
Right. Okay, so let's get into it because we have a lot to discuss, right? This is a good episode. So we start off by the boring ass couple that is Ashley, Kate, and Dario talking about why their names were said and wondering who they is. I'm like, y'all are so late. Doesn't this conversation feel so late?
I feel like they think this is Love Island and there's just no strategy going on with them and they're just there based on
just
her relationship with Frank, basically.
I'm just really confused why Ashley isn't more suspecting of Frank at this point. It's just confusing to me how she just I don't know if she's being oblivious or ignorant or what, but I don't know. I feel like he's the only one stirring the pot. Well, besides Shane after this episode, but
and it also just feels like Ashley is not in the know of things. And I said, how are you so close to Frank? But then again, Sam was over here saying she didn't think Frank was they at towards the end of the episode. And we're like, girl,
she's another
do you not know your partner?
Right.
I think Frank is a lot more calm than from past seasons, but yeah, sure. he talks for sure.
So yeah, Ashley, Kay, and Dario. Hey, sure, bye. Everyone in their confessionals at this point is giving their input on who they believe is they. People are obviously saying like, oh, it could be Amber. Nobody is really saying that. It could be Veronica and Katie. It's gonna be Frank, and it could be Shane, and whatever the hell else. So Dario even mentions like the strongest ally is still Frank and Sam that him and Ashley K have. But I mean, I gotta stop calling her Ashley K. She's the only Ashley there. But Frank has a lot of other allies, so he clearly doesn't know where they stand with Frank and Sam. And again, it's like, how do y'all not know this? Just have the conversation with Frank.
Right, just ask.
Again, like you could tell that they haven't been in the house, like in the challenge house in a long time. So then we have Melissa and Amber talking about how Veronica was the one that schemed everything in the previous episode, and that Veronica and Frank are they. And Amber expresses how she feels betrayed because she confided in Veronica. She didn't think that Veronica would do that to her. And again, we talked about this last episode where we felt like Amber clearly must have built a rapport with Amber in one of those seasons with Darrell, which made her feel like she could trust him. But Amber is also very trusting.
Too trusting. I feel like that's exactly where her fault is.
That's what Fessy said, that she's too nice for the game. I don't remember his exact quote, but yeah.
He did something along, did say something along those lines. But also, even at the end of this episode, we'll see where Amber's over here talking about Fessy's like family now. I said,
really?
Family?
Bro, it's been one season.
Right.
I wouldn't say all that.
We gotta see how he is when he's not paired up with you. Let's see that, and then we can go. We'll see if you'll call him family then.
We saw how it was with Anissa.
Oof. Well, Fessy and Anissa, they're frenemies, like low key. So let's get into Devon says that she's working with Shane, right? Clearly that's her rival, but it has been very difficult this season because they're on opposite sides of the house. She pretty much expresses she's working with all the strong people and Frank is working with all the weak people. And also, like we assessed last week, Devon's with all the black people and people of color, and Shane's with all the whites and the gays.
Pretty much.
Right? That's what it seems like. And then Devon also mentioned that like she's gotten extremely close to Nani, and I said,
weird.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, me neither.
I mean, they I know they've done past
previous
seasons
season,
together,
yeah.
But I didn't know they were so close. It's the same thing with Amber and Veronica. I had no idea that relationship even existed. But again, production. So
yeah. We only got 5 episodes left. Okay, good. I didn't keep in mind how many episodes were remaining, but that's good to know. Thank you. All right, so we see like Shane, Frank, Katie, Veronica have this conversation that they should go for Fessy and Amber because they're a strong pairing, and Veronica also mentions Nani and Turbo being a better choice. And at this moment, like we see the dynamics, or rather the differences between opinion when it comes to this alliance. Shane, obviously, with Devon, is working with Nani and Turbo, considering they share the same room. And they need that protection to pretty much play the middle throughout the game. But Shane also starts talking about his frustrations with Veronica, pretty much since they've had like a 20+ year friendship, which we all know of, well, at least like the Long Challenge fans do. And they're best friends out of this house, but he feels like him and Devon are now are on the outs of the alliance because of Frank and Sam, and he's getting concerned because of them wanting to go after Nani and Turbo, and he's like, listen, I'm not willing to do that at that point. And I'm glad that Shane brought that up in that moment. What are you gonna say, Brendan?
No, I was gonna say, which is valid on his part.
It makes sense. Like, why would I go after somebody that I know is gonna protect me at this point? Especially a strong pairing like them. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised by Veronica kind of siding with Frank as much as she did this episode. I understand the motivation behind it, right? Like trying to get the strong pairs out because they're in a weak pairing, them two. But I'm just so surprised that she's not considering Shane's input even more. That's it.
Yeah, it's I feel like if anyone is a puppet and doesn't realize it in this moment, it's Veronica, because I feel like she's doing everything that Frank just wants her to do and just is whispering in her ear, and she's just eating it all up, which I don't understand. But I mean, I do understand, but I don't know. I wish she would have had the conversation with Shane just alone instead of all together.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Jenna? What do you think about this whole dynamic that we're seeing?
I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe Veronica thinks she has a better chance of getting further with Frank, and that's why she's siding with him so much. I don't know. Like, Shane just never really sticks out to me as a strong physical competitor. So I think when it comes down to it, yes, Frank is attached to Sam, but I think Veronica's maybe thinking, okay, I have a better chance going with them. And I think Frank is a little bit more outspoken, a little more aggressive when it comes to strategy and alliances. And he can maneuver better than Shane. And Shane, he said it this episode. He's like, I want to sit back and let everybody else make the moves for me. So I think her and Frank are a good pair because I think they're both wanting to play the same type of game where Shane is just sitting in the back like this, waiting for somebody to fucking take him with them. So sorry, I could.
No, it doesn't matter. You're good. No, I can agree with that too. Like it does make sense why she would side more with Frank, but I guess I'm surprised that, well, as we all know, Veronica's not the type to like pregame before a game, so she says, right? So I'm just surprised that we haven't seen a conversation between her and Shane about like the type of game that they want to play per se. Like it, at least production hasn't shown us, at least, you know? But let's get into the daily challenge called Blow Your Mind. Take that away, Brendan.
All right. So for Blow Your Mind, the rules are that there are 8 lanes in the middle of each field, one for each pair of rivals. You and your partner are going to begin on opposite ends of the lanes. They are dotted with 2 puzzle key stations on each side, and you have to memorize them very carefully because once memorized, they are going to basically hit a detonator and it'll incinerate for you and your partner's answer key. You have to continue this process all the way to the middle, where you and your partner then have to use the information that you memorize to solve the puzzle. And the first team to basically get this done with the most correct will win. So keep in mind, it's not the fastest, but it's the most correct out of the puzzle. And also be safe from elimination. So this, I'll be honest, I was confused. The math was not mathing for me. I was trying to understand what the clocks meant. I know that along the way we see that each of the key stations have analog clocks with different cities and times. And it wasn't until Veronica figured out that you're not basically replicating what you saw on the board, but you're figuring out the difference in time between LA and the other cities that are listed on the board. So the fact that she was able to figure that out, kudos to her because I would not have gotten that at all. But there wasn't much strategy that we saw with everyone. The only one that sticks out to me was when Dario, he was like, "What can I do to like make everyone freak out?" So he decided to yell check to basically fluster all of the other teams. But remember, it's not the person with the or team with the fastest time that wins. It's just the team that gets the most correct. And you see everyone just hitting their buzzer because they got flustered by them, which I thought was a smart strategy. But overall, Shane and Davon and Veronica and Katie end up being the top 2 teams. And as we all see, it ends up being Katie and Veronica that win the challenge, which I'm happy for them. But what did you guys think overall about this challenge?
I liked it. I thought it was cool. It was different. I appreciate a non-physical challenge every now and then. I was a little annoyed by the fact that they had to jump through the paper that was on fire. I'm like, oh my god, that seems dangerous. But yeah, the whole challenge, to be honest, I wasn't paying attention when CJ explained it. So I was like, what is going on here? I was like,
it was confusing.
Yes. And then I was not paying attention to it had to be whoever had the most right, not in a timed thing. So I thought Dario's strategy, I was like, all right, this is cool. Like, whatever.
To be fair, because I watched it back because I was
Mhm.
confused during that portion. They didn't explain that when he was explaining the rules. They said it
So,
afterwards.
Yes, they did say it afterwards.
hmm.
I was confused too, but I thought like you, Jenna, I enjoyed it because I didn't mind like an equalizer. This was way better than the smoothie,
Mm.
the smoothie challenge or whatever. Way better. And I didn't mind that they had to jump through the thing because I was just like, have them do something. What I did really like was the fact that they couldn't talk to each other and they were on opposite ends. I also appreciated that element. I just thought like it was a well thought out well thought out challenge. And like Steve said, majority of these people can't even read analog clocks. And you saw Fessy talking about like, is it, you mean digital? And I was like, Fessy, please turn it on. Turn it on.
Andrew, he was a whole math teacher. Let's just remember that.
I know. And I was like, oh my God.
Not a good look for Fessy.
I mean, he lives in Florida, right? He's a Florida boy, so it kind of tracks. I'm sorry, no disrespect to the Floridians in the the subscribers and in the chat.
Florida man can't tell time.
Yeah, I'm sure if you look it up, Florida man can't tell time. Fessy's face is gonna pop up for sure.
Yeah.
And I love that Steve obviously referenced like Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav is actually having a great year, honestly. Side little note. He's having a good year. You know, he was over here boosting up all the Olympic girlies and champions and everything, supporting them and everything. And look, he's still getting referenced till this day. So anyway, yeah, that was funny as hell. I was surprised that Katie and Veronica won, but I was happy because I was like, okay, either way, either of those groups, they were gonna make a big move. I feel like Davon and Shane would have taken the opportunity to make a move, and so would have obviously Veronica and Katie.
Yeah, once they were the last team, I knew that they were gonna win. I had it in my head. I was like, okay, they figured it out. They're gonna win.
Same.
Okay, so as we saw Veronica, Katie win, TJ's so happy for them. We're all happy for Veronica and Katie. And look, they're so gassed walking into that house first. They're like, yes. Which, again, just great. So we see Frank have a conversation with Katie and Veronica, and that between Ashley, Dario, Nani, Turbo, and Fessy and Amber, the other teams are stronger, but he doesn't know if he can get a house vote against them at this point. And then Katie says that it would be good to put a target on them because Fessy and Amber are likely to come back versus any of those groups, right? Then we see Nani having a conversation with Davon, and they start talking about how they need to think about who is going to go in case their names are said for whatever reason, and they also need to try to get Frank and Sam in. So Operation Get Frank and Sam in as the house vote, this is where it starts. So Davon says that Shane needs to tell them all about Frank because at this point, Davon knows she has like a gut feeling like, Frank is they. Frank is they at this point. She feels it in her heart. And then Shane has to convince Nicole and Melissa to say Frank and Sam's name and tells them, this is at like the bar or whatever that they go to, tells them as long as they stick with the house vote, they're not going in. Nicole especially is relieved by this, right? Because she's like, listen, if not, it's gonna be me. So I don't care. I'm gonna go with the house vote. But while they're all celebrating, having a good time, because you know they came to terms with, oh, we're gonna say Frank and Sam. Veronica's like, hold on, nobody's celebrating with me and Katie. What's going on? We're just out here on the side drinking our wine. What's happening? And I said, look at Veronica already plotting. She said, I peep it all.
Like, they're having too much fun.
And I love that because I'm like, bro, this is the type of gameplay that I miss watching on the challenge. Like the OGs, they really bring it out. Like the strategy, the side conversations, the manipulation, everything. Like we need Veronica on Traders. I'm pretty sure, Sophie, you had said that. Many other people have been saying that on Twitter and on Reddit. We need Veronica on Traders, especially after this showing. I feel like she's due. She needs to call.
I agree. I agree.
And then where are we at? So again, Veronica peeps everything that's going on. As soon as they get back to the house, though, they're on go. Katie, Veronica, they said, pull Nicole into this room right now. And let's talk about this rumored vote being Frank and Sam, because that's not gonna happen. I said, go ahead, Katie. How did you feel about this moment, Brandon? Because I know you wasn't a fan.
I wasn't fond of it. Okay, like, look, the only thing that I didn't really like about it was that Veronica basically threatened Nicole and says if she's part of the house vote saying Frank, then she's definitely going to be someone that she thinks about putting down there. And you know, what I will say is that Nicole, in this very moment, I didn't get mad at her. Nicole basically was like, "Well, talk to your source." And then talk to me. And I was like, okay, Nicole, she's finally putting her foot down. But the only things I didn't like within this episode specifically were the little threats. I was like, and we'll see another threat later on. But yeah, that was just my take.
You're talking
What
about the
about you,
threat
Jenna?
from Veronica?
Yeah, because I lived through this moment.
I thought it was hilarious though, because Katie's like, well, do you want to go down and get your star? And she's like, well, I don't know. And Veronica's like, well, that's not up to you anyway. And I was just like, oh,
I lived.
You know why? Because I just feel like Melissa is just like, she's all bark, no bite. I mean, we see that when it comes to the house vote. She's like, I'm going to steamroll. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead, but
no,
I'm going to steamroll Nicole. And then she doesn't. I was just very, I appreciated her standing up to Veronica. I did. But
you could tell she was getting pissed.
Yeah.
She was getting really
mad.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
And honestly, Nicole was so drunk in that conversation. She was sitting there like, I'll do anything you tell me to do.
I think they were all like lit as hell because Veronica talking like that was like, oh, girl, the wine is spitting.
It was a little spicy for sure.
Yeah, because she even said, she's like, no, I want to know the cards need to be shown. Lines need to be drawn. And tell us what side are you on? Ours or theirs? And I was like, oh, Veronica, you laying it on thick. Okay. And I was just really, I was loving it because I said, yes, finally, somebody just saying it to their face. Like, bro, what are you going to do? You can't keep playing the fence for this long. And if you really think about it, I was kind of a little surprised by Nicole bucking down like that. But like you said, Jenna, she's probably lit as hell. And that's probably why. But then when they bring, when she says the source, like go to your source, and then they put 2 and 2 together, the math starts math, and that it's Shane. I was like, okay, what's gonna happen now? Frank immediately is like, well, I want to go and have a conversation with Shane. And Veronica's like, no, don't do anything. It's fine. But she feels like Shane is obviously trying to throw her plan to try to put 2 strong teams in. And she feels like her win would be a waste. Her and Katie both say that. Like, if they don't make a move, what's the point of them winning? And this is another thing. I love when people that are not going to win this game, like, there's no way that they're winning, do things like this. Like, I love when they shake shit up just to shake shit up. I don't know about y'all, but I love that.
Agreed. No, I agree.
I don't know what holds these people have on all of these people. Like, it's just crazy to me. Well, I'll get more into it during the house vote, but yeah.
Mary Fessy, you would never be they. Never, ever. I just think Veronica and Katie don't have much of a leg to stand on with the threats because they're unlikely to win more challenges, but it was funny. I just think Melissa and Nicole are dumb. Yes, and let's talk about them being dumb and dumber because Melissa and Nicole talk to Veronica and Katie and Frank, and Melissa says she's just not going to say yes to going down to get her star because of course they ask her like, hello, do you want to go down there and get your own star? She's like, I'm not going to do it like that. She wants to see what the elimination is. And this is what Jenna brought up Veronica says, yeah, but you're not the winner. So you don't get to decide that. I lived, guys.
Same.
This reminded me of old school challenge so bad. I loved it.
All I know
Brandon,
is if it was me,
I was waiting for Melissa
I would have
to
left
go
the house.
off.
I would have left the
Yeah, like,
house. You're not gonna talk to me like that.
and
I
she just
was
sat there
literally
like,
waiting for that. Yeah,
like,
Jenna.
girl, say something. I don't know. I just wanted a little
No,
razzle
you
dazzle with
saw
the
her
girls.
though. You saw her starting to
You
like
saw it.
fume, and Nicole really had to be like, "It's not. Stop. Don't say anything. Just stop."
Oh my, I wanted Melissa to go off. I really
Same.
freaking
And she
did.
would have. She really would
Uh,
have.
so
It's so
then
frustrating.
Melissa says, like, like they even like enough with the attitude. Melissa going tells them she was told Veronica and Frank were they. And like they're over here like, what? Like, that's ridiculous. Knowing damn well, especially Frank, like, bro, come on now. So then Melissa and Nicole have this conversation and they're just calling each other stupid. That's really what it is. Like, Nicole tells Melissa, like, well, your brain isn't getting us any farther in the game either. And that's probably one of the only funny things you have ever said, Nicole, in my opinion. But I was cracking up at that. And another thing is, okay, how about this? So Melissa feels like Frank is the reason why Big T and Corey, well, Big T primarily went home. And I'm just like, I mean, where was it his fault?
I'm pretty
Could you really?
sure. I'm pretty sure it was. He has been scheming and scheming, and there's a lot that we didn't see. I know we saw
Right.
like little glimpses at the end, but I'm pretty sure because he mentioned it. He said every house vote and elimination I had a hand in, and she probably realized that later. Um, and she probably also heard that from Amber when Corey was telling her back
Yeah,
in the house.
but I just felt like that was more of like Adam and Steve trying to, we talked about it last week, like Adam and Steve pretty much just trying to get back at Corey for being a big mouth. But maybe Frank did more. Clearly, like he said, he had more of a hand in all of the eliminations. Whatever. I'm sick of Melissa crying all the time. Yeah, she loves to do that. We gotta find out what's her sign. What is her sign for real? For real, she might be a water sign, and that's just how we be when we get mad. What are the chances that All Stars will become like the main show with episode count for future seasons? I don't want it to be that. Like, let's keep it separate because the production is a lot better, I feel like, with All Stars, or at least they show us a little bit more.
I got her
And
birthday, by the way.
what's her
It's
birthday?
April 27th.
So she's a
Aries, right? Or Taurus?
Taurus. Yeah, she's a
Let me
Taurus.
see.
She's a Taurus. She's a Taurus.
Taurus. That makes sense.
Hard-headed. Okay.
Mhm.
No, we did not hear about Marie being rumored to be a Real Housewives. I don't follow MAGA munchers like that. Sorry. Anyway, let's move on. So we see Devon tells Melissa, as long as the four of them stay solid with their vote, Melissa, Amber, Devon, and Nani, they should be good and they should still be able to vote Frank and Sam in. Melissa suggests maybe she speaks with Nicole before they do the house vote, and if they fall out, like, so the fuck what? She's gonna do whatever she wants to do because clearly Nicole's doing whatever the hell she wants to and she's not really listening to Melissa. So let's get into the house vote. Your part, Brandon.
Oh, okay. So basically, we start off this house vote, right? And it's funny because it's raining outside. There's a whole thunderstorm, and TJ's like, "That's it. That's all you got." I'm like, "TJ, you don't want to try God right now, but
No,
okay."
can I just say it reminded me of like Michael Jackson's like Earth song? That's what it was given. Like the like the with the wind, that's literally what it gave
Ve-
out there. It was very
Very
dramatic.
much. Very dramatic. Speaking of dramatic, we started off with Amber, and she's like, "You're not gonna ask us like to say anything, TJ?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, or she's like, "Well, I'm gonna start off and tell everyone that I know who they is. They is Frank." And you see Frank like he shook because he wasn't expecting to get called out in that very moment. So Frank is denying it, but Amber then pulls in Melissa. She's basically like, well, even Melissa came to me yesterday and says she thinks it's him. And now he's even more mad because he's like, I'm not gonna be anyone's scapegoat, yada yada yada. Mind you, I'm watching it and I'm like, sir, you know you're guilty. So why are you acting shocked that you got caught? Like, and that's what I guess pissed me off because if I was Frank, I would have just been like, all right, well, all of y'all fell for it anyway. Like, it is what it is. You guys are stupid. But he was just denying. When it comes to the House vote, though, we see that it's basically split. So Turbo and Nani, Amber, Fessy, Davon, and Shane vote for Frank and Sam. And then Frank and Sam, Steve and Adam, and Dario and Ashley vote for Amber and Fessy. The problem that I have with this vote specifically for Dario and Ashley is that their name came up as an option to go in. So I'm literally like, what is your loyalty to this man that you think you're so solid with them? Because they
I'm
really
really
don't see you
surprised.
as, yeah, like I would, if I was Dario, I would have said like maybe we go with the stronger teams because right now they're on the weaker side of things. I don't know.
I was
It was
surprised. No, go ahead. Sorry.
no, I was just gonna say it wasn't to me the smartest choice to do for a longer game. But
Right.
go ahead.
Well, I didn't see Ashley and Dario voting for Frank and Sam, but again, I agree. Like, I don't understand why Ashley and Dario went in last week. Why not just vote them in again as your star holder pair to take their star? Which I also thought was interesting because TJ was like, "Oh, you'll have the opportunity to steal a star if you win the elimination," and I'm just like, interesting. So now they're not doing a daily to earn a star; they're just gonna earn it in the elimination. So, but yeah, I don't know. Again, there's missing context. There's just not enough time, I guess, in the episode. But
I'm
I don't know.
telling you, they think they're on Love
Mm-hmm.
Island.
Yeah, no. But I do want to say like for the house vote, I did like Davon. Well, Shane kind of made it seem like, oh, I'm going with my partner's vote, right? And I said, okay, you're taking a backseat on this too. Okay, I'm peeping this. And Davon literally was looking at Frank in the eye like, you're not trustworthy. And I was just like, good for y'all for, at least saying it. I'm glad that Amber got that off her chest. Fessy makes that comment about Amber, like she plays this game, like she cares too much about the moves instead of looking at it like this is just a game. She cares too much and she lets it affect her too much emotionally, which I could understand, and we've seen that with Amber. Um and clearly she was pissed as hell when it turns out that, it's down to Nicole and Melissa. And go ahead, Brendan. They because oh my god, why?
So it is down to Tweedledee and Tweedledum. And I was this is the only time I think this season that I've been on the edge of my seat because I was like, okay, Nicole mentioned in her chat earlier with who was it with? I think it was Amber and them, one of them. But she mentioned like maybe I'll speak before Nicole does so that we can just get it over with and she can't say anything. So I really thought when Melissa spoke up first, she was going to say Frank and Sam. But unfortunately, she ends up choosing Amber and Fessy because of Nicole's unspoken loyalty to Veronica, which is just very frustrating, but whatever. Yada, yada, yada. So basically, Amber and Fessy are going in. But it was funny because then we go back to the house and the gays are fighting. Shane.
Wait. But before we get back into the house, you saw how quick Amber got up and stormed off. I said, "Yeah,
Yup.
walk off, girl. Walk off." She's pissed. But
As
continue.
she
Yes.
should be. Because she literally is giving you facts and the guy is still safe. Make it make sense. Like she said, you guys are all gonna watch this and feel dumb. And I'm pretty sure they're sitting there watching it now, feeling dumb.
Wait,
But yeah,
before you go into the gays fighting, how's Veronica and Katie getting strong teams out but aligned with Adam and Steve? Only male team already sent. How many teams home?
They're the only male team left?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
It was
They
only
need to
them
get
and
Adam and Steve out.
Leroy and Devin, I think.
I'm assuming Veronica and Katie know that they need to use Adam and Steve as a shield.
Right.
So
they've been sent down so many times already. So
dang, Mary, you want Davon to go home? Maybe she's
Mary.
warming. Come on. I
Not
love
too
her on
much,
our
Mary.
screen all the time. Yeah, like relax. maybe she's
let
warming
Davon
up.
cook. Let Davon cook. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know, we let Mariah cook. We could let Davon cook. You know, and Mariah didn't
No,
do
Mariah
nothing.
was getting cooked. She wasn't cooking. So.
That girl was like defrosting for weeks, the whole season. I feel like Veronica and Katie could outrun Adam and Steve over Fessy and Amber.
Respectfully disagree.
Outrun how?
Right.
Yeah,
Strategically?
right.
Strategically? Yes.
Strategically, yes.
Clearly, we saw that happen, but you know, we mean physically, I don't know. Jeanette, I'm sure I know deep down inside everyone wouldn't be mad if either Fessy or Turbo went home. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean,
You know, I would only say that I was more fine with Fessy and Nani going home, or sorry, with Turbo and Nani going home because I like Amber more. I don't really care about Fessy, but because they're paired, I have to care about him this season. But
oh, in your fantasy. Okay. As Tiffany New York Pollard would say, you dream a lot in your sleep, sis. So we'll leave it at that. All right, so let's get into the gays going at it back at the house because really it's just Frank yelling into abyss.
yeah, like he he's basically like, why are you making me out to be this person? Blah blah blah. What's your problem with me? Yada yada yada. And Shane's just sitting there like, I talked to my partner. I have nothing. I just went with my partner. Talk to her. And he's just fuming. He looks like, anger from Inside Out. That was
Yes.
Frank in that very moment. But again, I think like the more mad you seem, the guiltier you are. And I really hope people were looking at that moment and not feeling bad for this guy, but trying to see, okay, can I put two and two together? But unfortunately, I don't think these people are that smart. So, yeah.
Wait. Mind you, Veronica told him not to crash out in front of Shane because he lives for that, and then he still does it the next day anyway. Come on, he can't help himself. And Shane knew. He said, listen, the old Frank is coming out. I'm just sitting here massaging my arm, my legs, and I did crack up when at the end of Frank yelling, he goes, enjoy the massage gun or something like that to Shane. And he's like, yeah, I will.
He was unbothered. But I'm happy because usually Shane is a mess. And he
Yeah,
was cool, calm, and composed in that very moment. So
yeah. That was funny, and it's Sam. Here goes Sam. Talking about that she feels like Frank, the stress of the game, and him being the strategizer from the strategy person throughout this game, and for their pairing. It's getting to him, and I'm over here like, sis, Frank lives for this.
I'm like,
Like,
did you do a whole real world season with him or no? Because I don't know what person you're talking about.
I like Frank. LOL. Shane is giving there can only be one gay. Ooh. But there's
I don't think he's giving that. What I do think he's giving is I think you're shady, and I'm seeing that you're shady. I don't think it's necessarily like only one gay because Sam is still there, so it's fine.
Jeanette,
But
please, 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 Sam, you getting to him.
but yeah, I think like he's just peeping. Okay, he's messy. I see it. These people might not, but I see it, and that's
Okay,
why he's just sitting back.
go ahead, Jenna.
No, but like you said, Brandon, he's just sitting back. Like I appreciate Frank much more because he has that more like dog eat dog energy, and like Shane's just like, whatever. I don't know. I like that Shane's unbothered, but also like we're watching TV. I want to see a little bit more interaction from him. But I agree that in the past he has been a little unhinged. So
Oh,
I'm glad he reserved
definitely.
himself in this argument.
I think Shane knows like Davon and him will get into it if he was to blow up like that. Whereas like Sam kind of lets Frank be, and obviously she let him like explode. She was like, all right, whatever, like, okay, calm down, it's fine. But it's not like you see Sam telling Frank like you can't be reacting like that. Whereas I feel like Davon and Shane probably already had that conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So how did y'all feel about Shane saying that he's 3 steps ahead of Frank? Do y'all really think that?
I do think he is. I just don't think he had the numbers to execute what he needed to happen. Which is unfortunate because of Ashley and Dario. They're just they're pissing me off.
I know. All right, so let's get into this elimination. So the elimination was fairly freaking simple. Katie and Veronica, they end up choosing Nani and Turbo. Who's surprised? Nobody.
I wasn't mad at it though.
I wasn't mad at it either. I mean, I understand why they're doing it and I respect it. They want to get at least a big team out. That's it. I totally understand. So there are 2 game boards in the middle of this sand jungle, whatever you want to call it, and along with 2 solving stations, 1 for each team. You're going to take 2 coins to scratch off a picture, which is pretty much a cast photo, and underneath that, like, they'll scratch off that image. They have to recreate that image at a solving station, a puzzle, and complete it as fast as possible. I'm not gonna lie. When I saw the pairings and I saw that this is the elimination, I immediately thought Katie and Veronica, y'all could have won this.
Literally. And also, can we just talk about how they didn't even need to scratch the damn picture? Like
At
they
all.
could have went to the puzzle. I would have just went to the
Yes.
puzzle and started doing it. Because
Me
what is
too.
scratching gonna help? Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing at all. I literally was like, this is what y'all gave, like, these 2 pretty strong pairs.
Yeah.
Like, they definitely deserved a good elimination. I don't know about a hall brawl, but maybe something like the Beth and Johnny and Adam and Steve elimination. This would have been like a good pairing for them to do because I feel like the guys are a little bit like more muscular, the girls are like lean, like same
Or
kind of thing.
Maybe a hall ball with padding. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like they're not trying to do hall brawl for all stars, right?
We just want to see some body contact.
Yeah, I get you. I was just like, really? Like a puzzle is what it's gonna take these guys out. This is horrible. Um, but yeah, first team to replicate that image and do the puzzle wins and stays in the game. And it's neck and neck. It really seems like it happened in like 1, 2, 3, and Nani and Turbo end up winning.
Surprisingly, because I saw the overview of their picture, and there was one piece that looked a little off, but I was like, all right, whatever.
Oh.
I don't know if they fixed it. It wasn't exactly when TJ blew the whistle or whatever, but yeah, I don't know. There was one piece. Yeah. It could have been that.
Yeah, because I saw that too. And Nani was like, "No, Turbo, don't do that," or whatever.
Yeah. I just also felt like, why? I don't know. Like, they could have done a better puzzle. Like, that was too easy. I don't know.
Yeah, something more confusing, like with the different shapes and colors, or I don't know, something. Just.
Do you think production was hoping that like Katie and Veronica would throw themselves in since they won?
They should have. I don't know why they didn't. That would have been a bigger move to me if they would have taken out the strong team.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because Amber and Fessy are not the quote-unquote smartest. I feel like they could have won.
But then Katie and Veronica definitely would have had a target on them because they would have been the ones, if they don't win, they would have been getting thrown in. So I do understand that too. Them not trying to get a star for that reason. But still, I was just like...
But we got 5 episodes left. When are you going to get your star? At this point, it's not the beginning
anymore. Never. They're not getting it. I don't know. Okay, so then we see them go back to the house. Amber and Fessy are talking about, their newfound respect and adoration for each other. And Amber calls Fessy, like, he's family. And I said, sis, you're too trusting. Immediately. Like, I wanted to throw the water bottle at my screen. Like, sis, what do you mean he's like family?
Please. Yeah, I rolled my eyes at that. I was like, girl, they told you to say that.
No, that came from the heart. That came from the heart.
She's just too nice. I feel bad sometimes.
She is so nice. And also, I want to say this. Amber is so damn pretty. Even so when the girl is like sweating through, like, I'm like, do you ever look bad? Like, ever? I just wanted to put that in. Fessy, you were boring as hell. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, you definitely came across more likable because clearly you were treating our girl right, our fave right. But he's so boring when he's like in a relationship.
Yeah, I will say he came off a little bit more mature, which I appreciate.
Yes.
But there's a part of me that misses messy Fessy. So
and
next time you come on, be single.
Well, Messy Fessy did make a little cameo, this episode, earlier in the episode, and we forgot to talk about that. We even saw Amanda, and I said, "Oh, okay, we're going to take it back there."
I forgot about that.
Me too. That just feels so long ago.
It does.
Like, ooh, like y'all was in Michelle, because you already know. Oh my God, that makes total sense as to why Amanda, obviously,
I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
same,
bro. Michelle, you really be on somebody every season, low key, which is fine, girl. Get your cuddles in. Okay. I missed the who flip from Fessy.
Oh, the hair.
Oh,
who flip?
Oh.
Oh man.
Amanda and Fessy hooked up, right? Yes, they did.
I also feel like Fessy laid low a little bit too because none of his clique was there. Like none of his boys were there. So I feel like he had to strategize a different way. He didn't have as many alliances there, I feel like.
That is true.
I feel like the person in that game that he was probably closest to was Anissa and Nani.
Right. Other than that, like none of the guys there he's
and
ever
Leroy
worked with in the past.
and
Leroy.
Yeah. So.
Oh, And clearly Davon, because they know each other from the BB
Big Brother.
universe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. So the final star holders end up being Adam, Steve, Frank and Sam, Ashley K and Dario, and Nani and Turbo.
The same people
So,
from the last episode.
right. Nothing new, but the
Nothing
game
new.
did shake up a little bit, and there seems to be. Oh, and then we see this montage of Frank pretty much saying that he is they. He is they. How did y'all feel about that?
That's like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real. Like I knew he was there the whole entire time.
I
Why
mean,
are we
yeah, that's just the
surprised?
viewers.
Right.
It was
No,
nice
but
though
even in
to
the
see
house, like
yeah, but it was nice to see the little compilation at the end of all of his moves and stuff like that. I don't know, because again, I just feel like not a lot is shown. So, but yeah, we all knew Frank was they. I think it was more Veronica than Frank, but I think Frank jumped on that train as soon as he could. So
Yeah, I think so too. I feel like Frank obviously realized that Veronica is going to use her strategy as her strength and capitalize on it at any given moment. But I definitely felt like they was more so Veronica than Frank. But if he
yeah.
wants to take credit for it and maybe we're missing context, more context to the story, I wouldn't be surprised. I laughed. Hey, they? Yeah, it reminded me of like, hi, gay, from
I
like
will say though, I will
the
say,
Michelle Visage videos.
oh yeah, the YouTube video.
Yeah, every single
I
time,
will
hi, gay.
say,
I'm like, whoa.
I will say that the editor for this video or for this episode definitely had to be like a CW fan or something because the drama and the way they expanded it throughout the episode, I felt like I was watching a CW show. Very Gossip Girl.
It was so good, and I'm sorry, the win during the houseboat that ate down. Like the win is a paid actor. That was so good. I was just like the drama, the storm. Yeah, let's go crazy. It was good. I
I
loved
thought
it.
so too.
Yeah,
Cinematic
I
timing.
mean, yes, we're in for more drama, obviously, with the next episode. We'll see what's gonna happen. We'll see who's gonna be the next crash out of the challenge All Stars 5. Let me remove this. No, hey they. And yes, it was a Gossip Girl reveal. Again, we have not talked about season 41 spoiler cast list because there's been a lot of changes. And quite frankly, we've been hearing it's dry as hell. So maybe when it picks up, we'll try to cover the spoiler cast list. But so far, it don't seem like much fun. Um, I don't know if there's anything else challenge related really happening outside of.
I don't think so. I haven't really seen anything. I know the last thing I saw was um I think Corey had posted that the rookies on season 41 were boring, which I don't Corey Wharton, not the other Corey. But that was
Oh,
the
Corey
only
Lay
thing that
said
I've
this,
seen.
or Corey
No,
Wharton.
Corey Wharton said it. He basically
Okay.
said something along the lines of these rookies nowadays need to show entertainment or something like Team Young Buck did back in the day.
Mm.
I mean, which I agree with. But again, I haven't seen season 41. So all I know is we did get season 39 and we saw how that turned out.
Oh Lord, season 39. This whole episode was better than the entire season 39.
Yup, absolutely.
Like, I will stand on that. Like, oh my god, that freaky season was horrible. And so was Ryder Dies. Actually, this whole episode, the last two episodes were way better than the entire season of Ryder Dies for me. Because I didn't like Ryder Dies either.
I agree.
What a
It was
what a
too like
horrible
Oh, I didn't watch
By
season
filmish,
39.
yeah.
No, don't watch it.
Don't,
Don't
Yeah,
just
Battle for New
don't.
Champion.
watch a compilation and that's it.
I saw a little
No
bit
need
of
to
it. My
watch.
sister watched that season, and I just was like, "What's happening?" And she's like, "Don't bother." I'm like, "Okay."
It was
I did.
literally so sad. The prize pot didn't even make it to 500,000.
Yikes.
Like I think it was like
Basically,
$300,000 then.
yeah, the premise was Michelle ran the whole house only to flop at the very end and not make it to the final. And Nerese took out two of her guys and got backstabbed by Olivia. And a vampire won. And that's basically it. There you go.
Fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like
that's
the
it.
only thing I knew about from season 39 was the Nerese and Olivia beef. So
That's
really it.
literally the only thing that really happened at the end. And they was trying to treat it like some sort of like BB thing, like with like letters from the family. Oh my god, it was horrible. I was like, please, we don't care.
Tomato, tomato, tomato.
Yeah, boo. But anyways, y'all, it was fun chatting it up with you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Please let us know how you feel about the episode and the season so far. Are you hoping that Veronica and Katie get another win? Who do you want to go into the elimination next week? Who do you want to win? Who you rooting for? Are you Team Shane or are you Team Frank? Tell us. Do you really feel like Frank is they? Just let us know in the comments. And yeah, y'all. Thank you so much. And peace out, everybody.